July 2025, Seoul, South Korea, Los Angeles, USA. While armies across the world celebrated Jin's long-awaited return from mandatory military service last month, the spotlight seemed curiously absent. Instead, global attention shifted to Jungkook, who, just days after Jin's emotional comeback, jetted off to Los Angeles to promote his solo artistry and soak in the creative scene of the West Coast. The timing couldn't be more controversial. As Jin, the eldest member of BTS and often dubbed the emotional core of the group, stood before fans in a modest welcome-back appearance in Seoul, Jungkook was spotted in California, walking red carpets, attending exclusive industry events, and reportedly collaborating with high-profile Western producers. His LA trip follows the momentum of his hit single, Never Let Go, which was released in 2024, shortly after his own enlistment. The contrast didn't go unnoticed by fans. "It feels like Jin was sidelined," tweeted one Korean army. "We waited so long, and all we got was a press photo. Meanwhile, Jungkook is out there living like a global pop king." Others defended Jungkook, citing the younger member's ongoing artistic growth and the need to maintain international visibility. However, questions are swirling online. Why did HYBE not organize a grand welcome for Jin like they did for other members? Was it Jin's own choice to keep it low-key? Or is the industry quietly moving on from BTS's older stars? Adding fuel to the fire, are you sure? Jungkook's Disney Plus travel series with Jimin continues to trend globally, once again, without Jin in sight. A heated debate is now unfolding in fan communities. Is BTS drifting apart quietly? Are certain members being prioritized over others? Or is this simply a case of bad timing and media misfocus? Regardless of where one stands, one thing is clear: Jin deserved more. As fans campaign for a proper celebration of Jin's return, the imbalance of media attention within BTS is once again under scrutiny. And in the world of K-pop, where loyalty, timing, and visibility mean everything, the silence around Jin is speaking volumes. Many fans recall the tearful day in December 2022 when Jin became the first BTS member to enlist, marking the beginning of the group's long hiatus from full group activities. His departure was deeply emotional, with members sending him off with quiet support and fans flooding social media with messages of love and longing. So naturally, expectations for his return were high sky. Yet when Jin was officially discharged in June 2025, there was no major fanfare, no televised reunion, no public appearance with the other members, no celebratory event hosted by HYBE. Just a few blurry press photos and a modest Instagram post. For someone who carried the group's emotional weight for so long, the muted reception felt almost hollow. What stung even more for many fans was the simultaneous buzz around Jungkook. The youngest member, often dubbed the Golden Maknae, was seen arriving in LA just days after Jin's return. Photos circulated of him at exclusive studio sessions, rooftop parties, and even private dinners with top American producers. His LA trip follows the momentum of his hit single Never Let Go, which was released in 2024, shortly after his own enlistment. The contrast didn't go unnoticed by fans. Social media erupted. Korean and international fans alike questioned the imbalance. Why wasn't Jin getting the love and respect he had earned after nearly 2 years of service? Why was the narrative dominated by Jungkook's latest moves rather than the return of BTS's older brother? For some, the situation is a painful reflection of a larger truth. The K-pop machine moves fast, and it rarely waits, even for a global superstar like Jin. Some fans argue that this may have been Jin's own decision, that he preferred a quiet return without overwhelming press. He has always carried himself with a kind of grounded humility, often stepping back to let the younger members shine. But even that explanation doesn't fully ease the sting for many. Meanwhile, Jungkook's trajectory continues to soar, with Disney+, Rolling Stone accolades, and Western chart success under his belt. He's quickly solidifying his place as a global pop icon. But for longtime ARMYs, the celebration feels incomplete without a proper welcome for the man who helped build the very foundation Jungkook now stands on. As the silence around Jin lingers, the fandom finds itself split. Some defending the natural progression of solo careers, others grieving what they see as neglect of loyalty and history. In a group built on unity, this moment feels unsettlingly fractured. And perhaps the biggest question remains, if this is how Jin is treated after serving his country and giving a decade to BTS, what does it say about the future of the group and the values that once held it together? Only time will tell if this was just a momentary oversight or the beginning of a deeper shift. Meanwhile, HYBE has remained notably quiet. No official statement, no planned celebration, and no visible gestures from other members outside of the occasional comment or like. This vacuum of acknowledgement is driving fans to speculate. Was Jin sidelined on purpose? Is there tension behind the scenes that the public isn't meant to see? Or is this just the cost of being the oldest in an industry obsessed with youth? In contrast, Jungkook's star only continues to burn brighter. Interviews with US media outlets paint him as the next generation global soloist, with little mention of BTS as a group. His style, once molded by the team's identity, now reflects a bold, individual brand, oversized jackets, tattoos, streetwear, and a sound increasingly influenced by Western R&B and hip-hop. Some fans are proud, others feel a growing ache. It's not jealousy, one fan wrote in a viral TikTok. It's about respect. Respect for the man who held BTS together when they were falling apart, for the one who stepped up when no one else could. That man is Jin. What comes next? This moment, as raw and divisive as it feels, may signal something larger. The post-military chapter of BTS won't be what many expected. Gone is the fantasy of a seamless reunion. In its place is a sobering realization. Each member is charting his own course, and some may shine brighter in public than others. But if the industry forgets Jin, the fans won't. Fan bases are now organizing digital events, tribute projects, and even charity donations in Jin's name to mark his return. If HYBE won't celebrate him, we will, one organizer said. Whether this silence is a misstep, a marketing strategy, or something deeper remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Kim Sek-jin is back. And though the industry may have turned the page too quickly, his story is far from over. Yet for many, the silence surrounding Jin feels almost deafening. For a figure so central to BTS's identity, the eldest member, often the emotional anchor, the quiet guardian, his return should have been a celebration. Instead, it passed like a footnote. No major media appearances, no late-night show interviews, no viral content. Just a few press shots and some heart-hearted social media acknowledgements. Even the official BTS channels, usually meticulous in their content rollout, offered little more than obligatory mentions. In Karn Shart's stylized as contradictal, Jungkook's charge seemed almost too loud. While Jin was back on Korean soil, blending into everyday life after 2 years of military service, Jungkook was lighting up LA, sharing behind-the-scenes snaps, being packed with stylists, spotted with Western musicians, and attending what many believe was a secret listening session for his next solo album. The city that once served as BTS's playground now feels like Jungkook's personal kingdom. Some fans began connecting dots, noting how HYBE's promotion strategies have become increasingly skewed towards certain individuals. With V immersed in luxury brand campaigns, Jimin leaning into dance-heavy collaborations, and now Jungkook dominating the global music stage, the fear that Jin, once a core pillar, might be overlooked feels disturbingly real. It's not just about screen time, it's about legacy. Of course, some argue that Jin has always been the humble type, the member who never demanded the spotlight. But humility shouldn't equal invisibility. If anything, his quiet strength through the group's formative years deserves louder recognition now. After all, Jin wasn't just a member. He was the glue, the one who held their hands during award shows, made awkward moments funny, and stood tall when others were breaking down. Now, as BTS enters a new era, a fractured one, perhaps, the question fans are asking isn't just about where each member is, but where the heart of BTS has gone. Is it scattered across solo stages and endorsement deals? Is it buried under label politics and strategic silence? Or is it quietly waiting, like Jin himself, for the moment it can speak again? The truth is, military discharge isn't the glamorous comeback K-pop idols often imagine. It's a liminal space, neither fully idol nor fully civilian. But for Jin, it could have been something more. It should have been. And in the eerie quiet that followed his return, fans were left wondering, if even Jin, respected, beloved, loyal, can be overlooked, what hope is there for authenticity in an industry moving faster than the very people who built it? Perhaps that's what makes this moment so unsettling. It's not just about two members walking different paths. It's about what gets remembered and what gets erased.
For now, Jin walks quietly back into the world he helped shape. Whether the spotlight returns to him or not, one thing remains certain. His presence still matters. Even if the cameras don't catch it, even if the headlines miss it, he is still undeniably BTS. And maybe that's what the industry has forgotten, but fans haven't. Not now, not ever. In the weeks that followed, Jin's re-entry into public life remains muted. Occasional sightings by fans at a quiet cafe near the Han River, outside HYDE's building, circulated online, but they only deepened the melancholy. He smiled, as he always has, but something about the way he carried himself felt heavier. Maybe it was the 2 years away. Maybe it was the strange quiet that greeted him when he returned. What's striking is how little the industry seemed to slow down for him. The machine kept spinning. Brands chased newer faces. Music charts churned with fresh releases. And amidst all of that noise, the man who once stood on the biggest stages in the world came home to stillness. There were no press conferences, no variety show circuits, no celebratory live streams or reunion content. For a lesser artist, that might be expected. But this was Jin, global superstar, vocalist of the century, and the first member of BTS to step into military duty without hesitation or fanfare. If anyone deserved a red carpet, it was him. Instead, what he received was a whisper. Fans, sensing the void, did what fans always do best. They tried to fill it. They organized digital countdowns to his return, flooded Twitter and TikTok with tribute edits, and rewatched his solo tracks, giving new life to Abyss, Epiphany, and The Astronaut. But fan love, no matter how strong, cannot fully replace industry support. The people with the power to shape narratives, executives, networks, media, chose to look the other way. All while Jungkook's face lit up billboards in LA and interviews called him the future of pop. No one begrudges Jungkook his success. He's worked tirelessly. He's earned it. But the overlap in timing felt cruel. It was hard not to see the irony.
the youngest celebrating personal growth on foreign soil, while the eldest quietly slipped back into a world that barely noticed. Even within BTS's own dynamic, fans began to whisper, where were the emotional posts from other members? Where were the heartfelt reunions, the brotherly jokes, the sense of unity that defined them for a decade? In their place was a void. Empty captions, silent timelines, speculation grew. Was there distance between Jin and the rest of the group? Had time, or worse, strategy driven a wedge where there once was only closeness? Of course, none of these questions come with answers. Not yet. And maybe not ever. In K-pop, image is everything, and silence often speaks louder than truth. But fans know Jin. They remember the man who once told them he didn't feel good enough, then stood in front of thousands and sang anyway. They remember his dad jokes, his clumsy dancing, the way he always made space for the other members to shine. He was never the loudest, but he was often the most generous. So perhaps this quiet return suits him. Maybe he doesn't want the spotlight right now, but even if Jin doesn't ask for it, he deserves it. He deserves a welcome that matches the years he gave up. He deserves a company that champions his presence, not one that buries it beneath shiny distractions. He deserves the love of the world, not just in silence, but in volume. And if the industry won't offer that, then maybe, just maybe, the fans will have to be louder. Because the story of BTS is not complete without Kim Seokjin. It never was. It never will be. And no matter how quiet his return may seem, his presence echoes, soft but powerful, through every song, every memory, every heart still beating in the rhythm of 7. He is back, and he matters.